Another Coppa Italia for Juventus, running away from the others. They're 14th in total, Roma behind them with 9. Gab Marcotti joins the show. Jurgen Klinsmann still with us as well to reflect on this victory for Juventus. Gab, where's this been all season?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I mean, especially in the second half, we saw Juventus play with intensity. We saw them play with speed of thought and speed of execution. We saw them go and not be afraid to go and press the opposition high. All those things that Pirlo preached and said that he wanted to see in his teams. Look, I read his thesis, as you know.
Yep.
But they were just missing all season long. You know, he couldn't get his players to do it. But, yeah, it's a fair question. Where was this all season long?
Yeah, what a time to put in that sort of performance, Jurgen.
Yeah, I think we saw a very, very exciting and dramatic Italian Cup final today because both teams went at each other. I think, the first half also, highly, intensity, tempo. It went back and forth. I almost thought, they're going 300 miles an hour. The battle between Gosens on his left and Cuadrado on the right from the Juventus side, that was a battle that was just admired to watch. I think Kulusevski's goal was a beautiful goal, but there was a foul before that from Cuadrado on Gosens. In my opinion, it shouldn't have been a goal, but obviously it counted. Then Atalanta came back with a beautiful goal as well. And then the player that probably showed the most promising side of all Juventus players during this season, Chiesa, he made the difference. First he hit the post, and then he scored that beautiful goal, the winning goal, which I think, a goalkeeper could have done a little bit better, standing him up in the 1-against-1. But Chiesa wrote a little part of history. And here we go. Andrea Pirlo won 2 titles this year, the League Cup and the Coppa Italia. So that's massive. And obviously for Buffon having another title, I don't know how many titles this guy have. It's just mind-blowing, yeah.
Jurgen, just a word on Chiesa. Obviously, we know his potential and we know what he can do. But goodness me, that ceiling seems to get higher and higher every time you see him play in these sort of big games.
Yeah, and I think it's just that you see his consistency. You see him grow. You see him, on the side of Ronaldo. He gets more and more air to breathe. Because it's not easy. Ronaldo doesn't give you much air to breathe because he's so dominant in what he's doing. But he found a way. He figured it out, and he's gliding off to the left. He's gliding off to the right. He finds his spaces. And he has a change of pace. And this is what the top managers everywhere in the world did. You look for change of pace. And he has that. And the way he kind of can finish things off, he showed it today.
Am I right in thinking, is this the first game with fans of the season?
No, they had trials before. I think back in November, if I'm correct. But obviously it was a big deal to have this back. 4,000 people there. At the Mapei Stadium in Sassuolo, which is a very small stadium, which is why they sounded even noisier, and obviously great to see them back.
Pirlo said after the game, Gab, he wants to stay.
Oh, there's a shock.
Yeah,
he wants to stay. I think his future is going to depend, like in the end, and then this really isn't the way football should work. His future should not depend on whether they qualify for the Champions League this weekend. It's not like, all of a sudden, because you beat Bologna and because Milan screw up, if they do screw up against Atalanta, all of a sudden it's good Pirlo versus bad Pirlo and it changes your season. You should be evaluated on what he's done all season long, and if they think they're moving in the right direction, then you keep Pirlo, and you do it regardless of whether you finish, in the top 4 or whether you finish 5th. Unfortunately, football and football people and football media and football fans don't think that way.
So this is how things stand then going into the final round of matches. Atalanta are fine. They have definitely qualified for the Champions League. Remember, it's head-to-head, not goal difference, which is a differential in Italy. So it's all then Milan, Napoli and Juventus fighting for those last 2 spots. If Milan and Napoli win, then that's it. It doesn't matter what Juventus do against Bologna. It is out of their hands. Jurgen, you look at it, and in theory, but it's soccer, it's football. We've seen strange things happen before. But really, Napoli should beat Verona, and Milan should beat an Atalanta side that don't really have anything to play for.
Well, I think there's still a big question mark. I think that AC Milan will have some problems with Atalanta. They're gonna be loaded because they didn't win today, and they wanna kind of feel like to be honest. They wanna feel like they're not giving anything away in this massive game against AC Milan. So it's gonna be a tough one for AC Milan. Obviously, the other two, Napoli and Juventus, they have to do their homework, no doubt about it. But I think talking again about Andrea Pirlo and about how to evaluate an entire season, I think it's important that these people that make the decisions, and I think that at Juventus there are some people that played before. I see Nedved in there, other call them technical directors, sporting directors, or whatever they have, on a title. If you see that things are moving in the right direction, and don't forget he won now 2 titles, then you should stick with him. He went through a huge learning curve this year, demonstrating, he made mistakes and then he made good decisions. They had good moments, they had bad moments. But if they have the feeling that, there is growth happening, there is things are moving forward. And when I look at Kulusevski, when I look at Chiesa, then I see growth. I see players becoming better. McKinney, another example. And so it will be interesting to see what decisions they make at the end of the day.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.